Bedwetting. Most people at the age of 2 or 3 don't bedwet anymore, but around 10% of people still bedwet at the age of 5, and some people also beyond. The most common cause is because that the nervous system which is controlling the bladder is not fully mature or is maturing slower. It can be also if a person drinks alcohol, then it can come also again, and it can be that person is also sleeping deeper, sleeps deeper and doesn't wake up. And another cause can be also other emotional things. It can be that the person hears the parents or other people quarreling, or that a new sibling is expected, or that the person has fear of the dark or something. Other causes like cystitis are also possible. That is inflammation of the ligament of the bladder, or pyelitis, that is inflammation of kidneys, are possible but less likely. That is according to KOMJHUKG's Family Medical Advisor book on the page 89, but this is now medical advice. If you click this video away, then please tell me what the reason was so that I can improve. Otherwise, hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn medicine today, bedwetting, and after we've done that, we're going to do stretching. And if you participate in the stretching, then it's at your own risk, and we're going to talk about urination. Bedwetting. Most children become dry at night between the ages of 2 and 3. However, about 10% still wet the bed at the age of 5, and a smaller percentage continues to do so on and off for some years afterwards. The book is from the 70s, so it's maybe also. Okay, bedwetting. Most children from the age of 2 and 3 don't wet during night anymore, but some people still do it 10% after the age of 5, and some also onwards, when not always regularly. Most cases have cleared up by the age of 8, but bedwetting can occasionally extend into adulthood, when it is more likely to occur if a person has drunk too much alcohol. The most common cause is that the nervous system, which controls the working of the bladder, is slow to mature. No, again, the book is from the 70s. It might be that there's new information, but they're saying here that the nervous system is not maturing as fast. Maybe the whole, or just the one controlling the wetting, but they are saying here, we're taking it with a grain of salt. It's from the 70s, and maybe we're taking it a bit too big. But they are saying that the most common cause is that the nervous system, which controls the working of the bladder, is slow to mature. Are there other things affected? Okay, we're not going to take too much on it with a grain of salt, but we're going to keep it. But it may be that a child who is a heavy sleeper may fail to wake up when the bladder needs emptying, or emotional problems. For example, parents quarreling, the arrival of a new baby, or fear of the dark may be responsible. Okay, they're listing more things. Maybe the one thing was a little bit more for adults meant. So it's a little written not in one through. They're first talking about into adulthood cannot extend. When we're talking about when it is more likely if someone has drunk alcohol. When we're saying the thing with the nervous system, and when we're listing the other things, like too deep sleep. It may be that a child who is a heavy sleeper may fail to wake up when the bladder needs emptying. Or also emotional problems, and we're listing here now the parents quarreling, arrival of a new baby, or fear of the dark. Rarely other causes, cystitis or pyelitis is the cause. The problems run in families, and boys are more affected than girls. Let's take one look to cystitis. Cystic fibrosis, cystitis. Inflammation of the lining of the bladder. It is common in newly married women when it is called honeymoon cystitis, and in pregnant women. Before puberty it is rare. There are two types of cystitis: acute, when the inflammation lasts for only a short time, and chronic, when the bladder is permanently inflamed. The usual cause by acute is a germ that lives in the bowel, entering the urethra and reaching the bladder. Because the urethra in the female is closer, the word for something shorter than in men, cystitis is much more common in women. And chronic, the germ that causes acute cystitis can prove resistant to antibiotics, or the full course of antibiotics is not completed. So it is inflammation of the lining of the bladder, cystitis. And the other thing, pyelitis. It's not here. We have pyelonephritis. That could be it. That would be inflammation of one or both kidneys due to infection. There are two types of pyelonephritis: acute, lasting a few days, and chronic, which may, if untreated, last for many years, and occasionally cause kidney failure and death. The infection may be precipitated by the presence of other disorders, for example, cystitis or congenital abnormalities. Causes: infection by bacteria, usually the result of another condition, for example, enlargement of a prostate gland or cystitis, or an abnormality of the urinary tract that is present from birth. And for chronic, as for acute, pyelonephritis and acute pyelonephritis is especially liable to become chronic in the elderly. Nothing else here. Okay, pyelonephritis would it be? It's the only thing. Pyloric stenosis. The pylorus is a strong muscle valve at the outlet of the stomach. It controls movement of food down into the duodenum and small intestine. Pyloric stenosis is an obstruction of this muscular ring. One form of a condition is specifically associated with babies. So at the outlet of the stomach. So there's another one. There's another muscle ring. We have the one at the esophagus. So there's another one then into the stomach. At the outlet of the stomach. Okay, these are the only two things with PY, so it's not written here what it is. But I think it was, the inflammation of the kidney. Pyelitis. So we have all the informations together. Pyelonephritis, inflammation of the kidney due to infection. Cystitis, inflammation of the lining of the bladder, and pyelitis, inflammation of the kidney. So we're going to say that I try to say it in the presentation from memory. Most children are able to know, most people are able to no longer bedwet, do bedwet, as soon as they've reached the age of 2 or 3, but 10% still do so at the age of 5, and some people also longer. The reason for it can be by adults. Let's see the sentence here. Most cases have cleared up by the age of 8, but bedwetting can occasionally extend into adulthood, when it is more likely to occur if a person has drunk too much alcohol. Do they say that people who drink alcohol bedwet, or do they say that people who are likely to bedwet don't bedwet anymore, but when they drink alcohol again, they do again? I think they say the latter one. Can also extend further. Drinking alcohol can be believed by some people to happening. I'm just going to say that it's true. It would be fine with information here. Then the next thing is, the most common cause is that the nervous system which controls the working of a bladder is slow to mature. We're going to say that the nervous system which is controlling, I don't know exactly, so I can't really say it. Can I say it? No, I don't know it. I don't know the terms of it. Is slowly maturing, or is slower maturing. Also heavy sleepers, maybe not waking up. It can be also because of emotional things, like hearing the parents quarrel, or other people quarrel, that a new child is expected, a sibling is expected, and also fear of the dark or things. Cystitis, information of leaning of the bladder, and pyelitis, information of the infection of the other things of kidneys is inflammation due to infection. Inflammation, also cystitis. So both are inflammation, but this is due to infection with a germ. Inflammation due to infection. Okay, we have it all together. I'm gonna start the second camera that I have next to that one, and then I try to save it. Cystitis pyelitis. Cystitis pyelitis can be alcohol. It can be the maturing of the nervous system. It can be also because of heavy sleeping, or hearing the parents or other people quarrel, an unexpected sibling, or the dark or other things. Cystitis pyelitis. Bed betting. Most people at the age of 2 or 3 don't bed bet anymore, but around 10% of people still bed bet at the age of 5, and some people also beyond. The most common cause is because that the nervous system which is controlling the bladder is not fully matured, or maturing slower. It can be also if a person drinks alcohol, then it can come also again, and it can be that person is also sleeping deeper, sleeps deeper and doesn't wake up. And another cause can be also other emotional things. It can be that the person hears the parents or other people quarreling, or that a new sibling is expected, or that the person has fear of the dark or something. Other causes like cystitis are also possible. That is inflammation of the lignin of the bladder, or pyelitis, that is inflammation of the kidneys, are possible but less likely. That is according to KOMJHUKG's Family Medical Advisor book on the page 89, but this is no medical advice. And that was the medical part. If you were here for medicine, you can go directly to the next part of medicine. If you stay here and participate in this stretching, ist wenn die Augen ist. We're starting with the rooting shape. Feet together, toes to the outside, other toes. Here and here. Toes, toes, here and here. As far as possible. And again in. The toes, the heel and here. This time stay down, go into the knees. And again in. And shoulder wide apart, breathe in the arms up. And out over to the side. Again in. Out over to the other. In and up. Out and down. And one hand slides down the leg. Breathe in. Out one arm over. Breathe in. Open the rib cage. Out and back. Again in. Out the other arm down. Again in. Out one arm over. In and out the rib cage. And out and back. Breathe in the feet together. Out one hand down. Breathe in and reach. Out and up. In reach high. Out the other hand down. In and reach. Out and up. Bauch down. Shoulder width wide apart with the feet. Down and over. And shoulder circles. Back, up, and front, and down. And backwards. Front, back, down. And breathe in, lift the shoulders up. Out, let them fall away. Again in. And out. In and the arms up. And reach always with one arm high up. Pretend to take an apple hanging high on an apple branch, to turn it a bit around, and then to pluck it out. Last one. Legs wide apart, arms up to a T, breathe in, and out, go over to one side. Again in, out over to the other side. Again in, and out and lean onto the knees. Breathe again in, and out one shoulder in front. In and back, out the other one. In and back, and out and down. Nose to the feet. Breathe again in, and out. Again in. And out comes slowly with the shoulder back up. And make it the top and backwards. Shoulder, shoulder. Legs shoulder, a bit warm and shoulder wide apart. Breathe again down. And breathe again out. Draw the shoulder blades together. In and up. Out and down. Another round. In and up. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. Breathe in and cross the legs. And breathe again out. That was the stretching. I thank you very much, and the next time.